WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. A Reform, Alabama man will spend 20 years in prison for manslaughter.
24-year-old Tim Lee Simpson pled guilty to the manslaughter of 21-year-old Jonathan Pierre Latham of Carrollton back on September 12. Simpson shot Latham in the head with a gunshot August 10th of 2013. The shooting happened on October Drive. It's just west of Reform, following an argument during a party. The sentencing was today at the Pickens County Courthouse.
A Caledonia man is accused of choking a family member. 24-year-old Brian Nathan Smith is charged with aggravated domestic violence. Lowndes County detectives say Smith and a woman got into an argument on March 8th. The victim says Smith put his hands around her neck. By the time deputies arrived, Smith left the scene. He was arrested this week. Smith also has a possession of meth charge on his booking sheet.
Oxford police arrest one man and are looking for another in connection with an armed robbery. Corey Fulgham was arrested after the alleged incident Friday. Police say Fulgham and a second suspect, Grady Bishop, reportedly chased a man with a knife, cut his finger, and tried to stab him in the neck. The two also allegedly kicked the victim in the head while he was on the ground. That victim reports the suspect stole $940 and some cigarettes during the attack. Fulgham's bond is set at $15,000. Police are still looking for Bishop tonight.
The Castle Doctrine can seem simple, but can be complicated in the courtroom. It's back in the forefront after Deandra Deshawn Tillman of Columbus was stabbed to death after breaking into a home this past weekend. WCBI's
Victoria Bailey talks with an attorney and a prosecutor about what's next. She joins us in the studio with what homeowners need to know. Victoria.
That's right, Andrea and Joey. Everyone has the right to defend themselves and their property. However, you need to know the law as it reads before you go in the courtroom.
For Mississippians, protecting ourselves is high on the list of priorities.
So the normal standards that we have in self-defense, which is that someone was attacking you and you're in fear of great bodily injury or death, that's relaxed when they're breaking inside your home.
It's called the Castle Doctrine, and Columbus private practice lawyer Carrie Jordan says it's designed to protect the legal rights of homeowners to protect their property.
An individual is allowed to defend their home with deadly force. Their person, their home, and it actually extends to the perimeter. What that means is you as a homeowner, if there is an intruder in your home, you can use deadly force to repel that intruder.
Now, Saturday night specific case, Deandra Deshawn Tillman attempted to rob a home but was stabbed to death. District Attorney Scott Colomb says his office is preparing for the next step.
Once there's any type of killing of another human being, those type of cases are always presented to a grand jury. The police will investigate it and get all the information they can, and once they're done with the investigation, they'll present it to my office, and then we'll present it to a grand jury, and the grand jury will determine whether there's evidence of a murder or whether it was self-defense.
Jordan says the Castle Doctrine isn't limited to just the inside of the house. It can extend to the yard, garage, or shed, but protecting the outside of the house legally gets a little fuzzy.
You have to have a reasonable belief that the person who is in the perimeter of your property intends to commit a felony upon your person or your home.
Colomb says the Castle Doctrine could possibly play a role in Saturday's incident.
Based on the information we have now, there's been some suggestions that the Castle Doctrine might be in play. So just speaking generally, the Castle Doctrine basically says that a person's home is their castle and they can use whatever force they feel necessary to protect their home. You feel like deadly force is necessary to protect your home, then that's legal.
Jordan adds the Castle Doctrine also extends to your vehicle if you are occupying it during the break-in and feel you're in imminent danger. Joey, Andrea?
All right, Victoria Bailey with some important information there.
Yeah. All right, time now to turn our attention to weather. Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson has your first look. Keith?
Well, we are looking at some chilly temperatures right now in Tupelo, overcast conditions, and temperatures currently at 37 degrees, winds from the northwest at 14, chilly in Tupelo, chilly everywhere else, 39 in Columbus, Starkville, and West Point, low 40s in Macon. Now we're planning for this evening, clouds will gradually thin out. We hold the 30s with the clouds. Those clouds go away later tonight, and we fall back in the mid to upper 20s here, and that means a widespread freeze across our viewing area. That's where we stand right now. We'll let you know when the cold snap ends in just a few minutes.
A Noxubee County woman is sentenced to 8 years in prison for a child sex crime. Rashida Dixon pleaded guilty to sexual battery. Dixon was arrested in October 2013 for 3 counts of sexual battery involving a 15-year-old girl. Noxubee County Sheriff Terry Grassery told WCBI the girl was reported missing and then found with Dixon. Circuit Court Judge Lee Howard sentenced her yesterday in Noxubee County.
We have some new information tonight on a missing woman. Pickens County deputies are now assisting East Alabama law enforcement in the case of the missing woman. Christy Cook of Tuscaloosa County was reported missing by Pickens County Sheriff David Abston. He says she was last seen in Pickens County about a week ago. He says she was traveling to Tennessee but never arrived. She was in a black GMC pickup pulling a white ski boat. The truck was recovered in Etowah County along with a man who also had been reported missing.
She was last seen here in Pickens County with a man from Pickens County, and he ended up in a hospital near Gadsden, and the Etowah County Sheriff's Office is assisting us in looking for this lady.
If you have any information about Cook, you're asked to call law enforcement. A small town in Alabama dealing with the passing of a leader and a friend.
We find out how they're coping with the loss when we come back.
Welcome back, everyone. We have some breaking news just into our newsroom out of Clay County. 2 people have been found dead in the middle of a Clay County road. Sheriff Eddie Scott says the details are limited at this hour, but the death took place on Dixie Road in Clay County. The State Crime Lab is en route to the scene right now. WCBI will have the latest on this story as it becomes available. Well, the town of Kennedy, Alabama is mourning the loss of their mayor, Rosie McDaniel.
Yeah, WCBI's Selena Schaefer visits Kennedy to talk with close friends and co-workers of Miss Rose.
She was 66, but full of life. Her given name was Rosalind McDaniel, but the late mayor herself was quick to let you know what she wanted to be called.
And asked if they're supposed to call me Miss Mayor or this and that. I said, my name's always been Rose. That's what you're supposed to call me.
She was a great lady. She was easy to work with. Anything we needed or wanted, she tried to make sure, we got it done here.
Friends and co-workers speak of her in the utmost regard.
Miss Rose was a sweet, sweet soul. She just kind of like a mother to everybody. Several different situations, she's been over backwards to help me. Sewed patches on shirts, anything of that nature. She always seemed to have some kind of remedy or some way to fix anything. She was just old-fashioned, and what you seen is what you got every day. She's just the same Miss Rose all the time.
Like Police Chief Jake Fowler, former Mayor Tim Jenkins also refers to her as the town's mother hen.
She and I had a mother-son relationship, kind of, and it's a sudden loss for not only myself but her family and our community. And she was a wonderful person, a great personality, and she's deeply going to be missed.
They knew her passions, and they all involved having fun.
Her main thing was getting swing sets for the park.
And I, too, remembered her joking nature during a previous interview.
I told him, I said, I'm a big kid. I like to swing myself, so we got to have about 3 sets, one for the babies and one for middle size and one for us teenagers and older folks, because we all like to swing.
She never met a stranger. She was always everybody's friend.
Miss Rose fell ill with the flu and was in the ICU for 9 days before passing. Her close friends have advice to the public.
If you know you've got the flu, stay in, away from everybody.
Residents say the community is healing as one.
It seems like the whole community's come together and, kind of comforted each other. She was tough.
Jenkins says Miss Rose had a passion for libraries, and they hope to rename the town library in her memory.
Just an ugly day. That's what we've had today. This is our Alpha Insurance time lapse from Columbus. Lots of clouds, blustery, cold temperatures. Full forecast is coming up next.
Your first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Yes, it's chilly today, but look at this. Spring officially begins Monday, March 20th. There's a few days away at 5:28 in the morning. And right on schedule will be that spring-like warm-up. Monday, our forecast high 74, 76 on Tuesday. So that's something to look forward to. Right now, we have a couple of cold nights coming our way. Tonight and tomorrow night, mid to upper 20s around here. Our range tonight about 24 to 30. Tomorrow night about 25 to 32. Now we have a lot of cloud cover in place right now. You can see that with our Alpha Insurance time lapse from Tupelo today in downtown at Fair Park. This acts like a blanket. So if these clouds were to stay around tonight, we wouldn't get below freezing. But those clouds are going to be going away later on tonight, and that will allow temperatures to plummet sometime late this evening or after midnight. Currently in Columbus, though, 39 degrees. We are cloudy. Winds from the north about 10 to 20. 37 Tupelo, 39 Columbus, 37 Memphis. Temperatures will continue to fall all night long once we lose those clouds, but the wind chill factor right around 30 degrees here on our Tuesday evening. There have been a few snowflakes dancing around in the region today. We've seen some of those locally more to our northwest and northeast, but the clouds will be thinning out as high pressure builds on in later tonight. All of this is responsible because of this blizzard that developed across New England and this big dip in the jet stream right here. Very cold air. It's actually pushing into the low 90s out west in Phoenix over the last few days, including today, but around here, it's just cold. Temperatures for tonight, 25 to about 30 degrees or 24 to 30 degrees, give or take here. That's our chilly night. And for tomorrow, 20s to start out, 40 at noon, 47, that's it. About 20 degrees below average for Wednesday, even with almost wall-to-wall sunshine here. So a very chilly Wednesday for us, widespread 40s. High pressure moves on through Wednesday, hence the cold conditions, but we will be clear. There will be some additional clouds on Thursday, but I think on the backside of that high pressure system right there, just enough of a southerly breeze to get us back into the low 50s. Much warmer on Friday, mid to upper 60s. Our next chance of rain will be with that front right there, Friday night, Saturday morning, but we will stay in the 60s for this upcoming weekend. Here's our 7-day. 20s tonight, 47 tomorrow, 27 again tomorrow night, low 50s Thursday, 69 on St. Patrick's Day, some Irish luck for us there. 60s for the weekend, and there are those 70s again as we get into next week.
All right, well, as Keith just told us, much of the viewing area is in for some freezing conditions, and those temperatures could be dangerous for some crops in our area. WCBI's Quentin Smith is in Pontotoc County, where a grower there is taking some unusual measures to protect his crop. Quentin.
That's right, Andrea. I'm here at Cherry Creek Orchards right here in Pontotoc. And as you can see, an entire field of orchards have already blossomed. They're looking pink and beautiful for now, but this cold weather is actually bad news to these orchards. They actually don't take well to this type of cold weather. So as a result, workers have now set up metal barriers like the ones you see here, and they plan on setting these barriers on fire later on tonight to bring some heat to these orchards to kind of help combat this cold weather. I'll have more on this story coming up tonight on WCBI News at 9 and 10. But for now, reporting live in Pontotoc, Quentin Smith, back to you in the studio.
All right, Quentin. Coming up, we'll have more with Mississippi State as the Bulldogs prepare to host the first and second rounds of the NCAA women's basketball tourney. That's coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe. is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Mississippi State is all set and ready to host the NCAA women's basketball tournament in Starkville this upcoming weekend. The Bulldogs face Troy in the first round, and while the regular season was great and playing teams that you know well, Vic Schaefer says he's not finished with this year just yet.
I'm 29-4, Adam. I'm not sure I'm ready for it to be over to rewrite anything other than we just need to keep doing what we're doing. We need to play better, obviously. Offensively, you're not going to beat anybody in March scoring 48 points. So we know that against, but South Carolina, look, Dawn Staley's a heck of a coach. She's a really good defensive coach. Nobody knows you better than the people in your league. Well, you know what? I don't have to play anybody in my league for a while. So it's a new, I think it's a breath of fresh air for us.
Coming at the end of the season, that's what we work for, the NCAA tournament, making the Final Four, and hopefully winning the championship. So just having all this fall in place for us, it means a lot.
At Ole Miss, head coach Matt Insell will have the Rebels ready in the WNIT starting Thursday night against Grambling State. Ole Miss hopes this is just the beginning to ending the season on the right note.
For us to make a run, we got to stay as one. That's been our biggest thing all year. I've talked to them about is, just stay together. Everybody pull together as one at all times. And if you'll do that, and your energy's right and your enthusiasm right, then we'll have a great chance to make a run in this tournament. And the NIT is something that it's special to be in the postseason. And if you get a chance to win an NIT championship, to win your last game of the regular season, there's only 2 teams in the country that get a chance to win their last game of the regular season. That's the team that wins the national title in the NCAA tournament, and the team that wins the NIT championship. And so it's just something that we're striving for, something we're excited about, and just got to have our energy right and our enthusiasm right. If those 2 things are right, then we'll have a great chance to make a run.
Speaking of Ole Miss, the men's team is in the NIT right now, taking on Monmouth. The Rebels trail early in the first half. Long way to go. We'll recap that game tonight at 10 on WCBI Sports. Well, it is the madness of March, and it's time to fill out your brackets. If you're like me, you're painstakingly going through all the numbers, all the matchups, who's good, who's bad, who's moving on. Well, as I usually do every year, I'm going to run through my bracket tips to help you fill out the perfect bracket every year. And it never happens, but we'll see if it happens this year. My first tip, don't pick all #1 seeds to make the Final Four. Since the field expanded in '79, only once has all 4 #1 seeds made the Final Four. That was in 2008. At the very least, though, you want to include 1 seed in your Final Four, as 35 of the last 38 years we have had a #1 seed make it to the Final Four. We will have bracket tip number 2 coming up tonight. It will be about determining who you should pick to win your national championship, because if you're in a family pool, having some fun, figuring out who knows the most about college basketball, that national championship pick is worth probably the most of your whole bracket. So we'll talk about that coming up at 10. We do have baseball tonight as well. Mississippi State about ready to get going for the first pitch out of a chilly Dudy Noble Field. They will take on Arkansas Pine Bluff, 6:30 p.m. And then on the coast in Biloxi at MGM Park, Ole Miss will take on Nichols. That's a 7 p.m. first pitch time. We will have highlights of that game coming up at 10 on WCBI. And the tournament has tipped off with the first 4 between Mount St. Mary's and New Orleans. That game is over on True TV. It's your annual Where's True TV on your cable and satellite provider.
Exactly.
We don't know. You got to look it up and find it yourself.
We don't know.
And
if you have a chance to do it, go for it.
There's also bracketology going on WCBI.com.
Will one of your tips
wow.
be let your husband do it for you?
That is one of them. Yep, let your significant other do them if they know more. I'm letting my significant other do it because she always
Really?
beats me
Oh,
every
wow.
year.
So am I.
Well, that's
She
the
just
reason
needs to pick Purdue. I won't let her pick against Purdue.
That's the reason I picked Arizona. We'll be right back.